r/shortscarystories. Posted by u/jtb685. I promised my second-born child to a demon. I'll admit this was a very bad decision. I thought I was being clever. This whole mess started a few years ago when I got the news my boys couldn't swim. My wife and I were heartbroken. We talked about having kids since our first date. She wanted 4 but I wanted 2, so we compromised and agreed to have 4. We tried and tried and tried. I told her not to worry and said we should be patient. But time started dragging on. Eventually my wife made an appointment with a fertility specialist. Turned out I was the problem. The doctor was great though, she explained all our options. I'll avoid the grisly details, but it was easy for me. My grand contribution was filling a cup, but my wife had to endure all sorts of injections and procedures. Fast forward 2 years and we've still got no baby, just unpaid bills. We gave up. I resigned myself to never becoming a father. But then I had my bright idea. I started reading the books. The kind of books you wouldn't find in a library. The kind you wouldn't let a pastor catch you with. Those books. The ritual was straightforward enough: light some candles, utter an incantation, then hash out the deal. My wife was raised Catholic, so I waited until she was out of the house before performing the ritual. The demon had one giant eye and endless rows of sharp teeth. I explained my dilemma, told it all I wanted was to be a father. Just 1 child would be enough. It asked what I could offer in return. When I proposed a house that was behind on its mortgage payments, the demon politely declined. Then it suggested my second-born child. I asked what would happen if I only had 1 and it said the deal would be null and void. We shook on it. There was a gust of wind, a moment of complete darkness, then it was gone. I was excited. I cleaned the house from top to bottom, bought some roses, wife's favorite, and had a romantic dinner ready when she got home. I didn't want to waste any time. 3 weeks later, when she was in the mood, we got down to business. It wasn't long before we were staring at a positive pregnancy test. After years of heartache, it was finally happening. Now it was time to put my plan into action and get a vasectomy. The demon couldn't have my second-born child if I didn't have 1. I booked the appointment, got the snip, and thought that would be the end of it. Until today. The 12-week ultrasound scan. I was beside myself with excitement until I got the news. "You see that blob on the left?" said the doctor. "That's the head." My eyes welled up. Incredible. "And you see that blob on the right?" "Yeah. That's the other head." Congratulations, you're having twins. The second story of this video was posted by u/jtb685. The witch, Abigail, crept out of her hiding spot. Oblivious to the sound of leaves rustling beneath her feet, she drew her bow and released an arrow. It soared towards the witch. But, alerted by the noise, the twisted old hag spun on her heels. The arrow merely grazed her arm, spilling blood on the forest floor. The witch stumbled, but she didn't fall. This was bad. Killing the witch was Abigail's only chance to prove herself to the villagers, and now if she didn't end it fast they'd be the ones paying the price. She readied another arrow. The witch uttered a few twisted words, some in Latin, some a language older than history itself, and birds fell from the canopy above. She pressed a hand against her wound and shrieked. A fierce wind, seemingly summoned at will, carried her words far and wide. Miles away villagers threw themselves to the ground and vomited black bile while their animals howled and cried. Abigail held her bow steady, unaffected by the curse. The witch, sensing her resolve, couldn't understand how the young girl hadn't succumbed to her hex. She unleashed another arrow. This one pierced the witch's neck, and with a desperate gurgle she collapsed onto her back. The wind settled, and the spell lifted. Back in the village, residents climbed to their feet and gasped for air, cursing Abigail for invoking her wrath. Abigail edged toward the motionless body. Half the stories about the witch contradicted the others, but gazing into her empty eyes Abigail could see the ones alluding to her blindness were right. Although she appeared to be dead, this wasn't the time for half measures. If she came this far and didn't finish the job there'd be no point returning home. She pulled a knife from her pack and kneeled. But withered fingers wrapped around her wrist and squeezed. At dusk Abigail emerged from the forest. Only her mother had waited, the others wrote her off as dead the minute she stepped into the witch's lair. Her mother ran forward and hugged her tight, then sighed, "What happened?" "I killed the witch," Abigail sighed back. Surely an act this brave would earn her the acceptance she craved. But there was no hero's welcome. Farmers working the fields glanced over and shook their heads. An unnecessary risk by a fool girl, they called it. Easy to face the witch when you've never suffered her spells, said one of the elders. Nothing had changed. Walking through the streets, Abigail reflected on the horrible way she'd been treated her entire life. She recalled one girl who loved teasing behind her back while the other children watched and laughed. Abigail waved her hands, made a few simple gestures, and half a mile away that girl dropped dead, as if by magic. It amazed her how quickly it all came back. Memories of the witch's power surged in her veins. Things would be different from now on. Very different. Abigail chuckled soundlessly. Third story of this video. Knock knock. Knock knock. That's strange. Someone's at the back door this late at night? I put down my book and raced to the kitchen. Both my daughter and the cat are staring at the back garden. The cat's on its hind legs pawing the patio door, like it's trying to scratch through the glass. All I see is my reflection. Lyra honey, did you just knock the door? Lyra shakes her head. I switch on the patio light and look around the yard. Nothing. What a relief. What are you looking at? The lady. Now I've got the creeps. What lady? Lyra points at the porch. That one. Nope. We're not doing this. I nudge the cat away, then switch off the light and close the curtains. Let's go watch a movie. Knock knock. A shiver runs down my spine. It's just the wind, I tell myself. Lyra tugs my arm. The lady wants us to come outside. What? She says it's not safe here and we have to go outside. Lyra, there's. Knock knock. It sounds like someone's pounding against the glass. I'm so scared I can barely move, but I have the presence of mind to grab my phone. Lyra pulls back the curtains. Okay. She says it's time to go. Lyra unlocks the door and slides it open, but before she gets it all the way across I grab the handle and slam it shut. The glass shakes in the frame. Lyra's crying. I've hurt her hand. The lady says we have to go right now. The garden isn't empty anymore. I can see something, but it's barely visible in the dark. What is it? It looks like two glowing orbs. I'm not taking any chances. I lock the door and take out the key. Lyra tries to grab it, but I hold it above my head. Lyra stops and looks outside. The lady says if we don't come outside right now the monster's gonna get us. The cat arches its back and hisses. The orbs look like pale eyes now. Oh fuck, there's a face outside. It's barely visible, but it's there. I swipe my phone and hit the emergency button. My hand is trembling. What service do you require? Please. I scream my address and scoop up Lyra with my free arm. She shrieks and grabs the door handle. Bang. The face is closer now. Bang bang. Lyra screams so loudly it hurts my ears. The cat makes all sorts of distress noises. I can't get Lyra to let go. The operator says the police are on their way, so I put down the phone and pry her off the handle. Now I'm point blank with the face. It grins. It has a wide mouth. Wider than any human. My throat closes over as I feel a hand on my shoulder and have a terrible realization. The face isn't outside. It's a reflection. And it's standing right behind me.